Corrupt, vile Joe Biden gives his farewell speech to America. The only place Joe Biden should be going after this speech is to Gitmo, and then after he passes, right to hell where he belongs. Him and his entire family have caused nothing but chaos in the United States of America and across the world. Let's jump right into the video.
My fellow Americans, I'm speaking to you tonight from the Oval Office. Before I begin, let me speak to important news from earlier today. After 8 months of nonstop negotiation, my administration, a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached by Israel and Hamas. The element.
Do you really think this piece of garbage and Democrats brokered that deal? The only reason why that deal got brokered is because Donald Trump is about to take office. And of course, this lowlife would try to take responsibility or say that the reason why the deal was brokered is because of him. He has no class at all. He's absolutely disgusting, Joe Biden. He's a clown. He negotiated for 8 months. He can't even stand up for 8 minutes.
Of which I laid out in great detail in May of this year. This plan was developed and negotiated by my team, and will be largely implemented by the incoming administration. That's why I told my team to keep the incoming administration fully informed, because that's how it should be, working together as Americans. This will be my final address to you from the American people from the Oval Office,
from
this desk as president. And I've been thinking a lot about who we are, and maybe more importantly, who we should be. Long ago, in New York Harbor, an ironworker installed beam after beam, day after day. He was joined by steel workers, stonemasons, engineers. They built not just a single structure, but a beacon of freedom.
Here we go.
The very idea of America was so big, we felt the entire world needed to see. The Statue of Liberty, a gift from France after our Civil War. Like the very idea of America, it was built not by one person, but by many people from every background and from around the world. Like America, the Statue of Liberty is not standing still. Her foot literally steps forward atop a broken chain of human bondage. She's on the march, and she literally moves. She was built to sway back and forth to withstand the fury of stormy weather, to stand the test of time because storms are always coming. She sways a few inches, but she never falls into the current below. An engineering marvel. The Statue of Liberty is also an enduring symbol of the soul of our nation, a soul shaped by...
Hey, Joe, the only people that have endured is American citizens enduring 4 years of chaos that you and Democrats have caused in America and all over the world. You're trying to preach to us who we are? No, I know who you are. You're corrupt. You're vile. You're a pervert. You took showers with your daughter till she was 21. You preach to us that our kids are your kids. Meanwhile, your family's a total mess. You're a disgusting, vile human being, Joe. That's what you are. You're corrupt to your core. Your entire family is.
Forces that bring us together and by forces that pull us apart. And yet, through good times and tough times, we've withstood it all. A nation of pioneers and explorers, of dreamers and doers, of ancestors native to this land, of ancestors who came by force. A nation of immigrants came to build a better life. A nation holding the torch of the most powerful idea ever in the history of the world, that all of us are created equal. That all of us deserve to be treated with dignity, justice, and fairness. That democracy must defend and be defined and be imposed, moved in every way possible. Our rights, our freedoms, our dreams. But we know the idea of America, our institution, our people, our values that uphold it are constantly being tested. Ongoing debates about power and the exercise of power. But whether we lead by the example of our power or the power of our example, whether we show the courage to stand up to the abuse of power or we yield to it. After 50 years at the center of all of this, I know that believing in the idea of America means respecting the institutions that govern a free society, the presidency, the Congress, the courts, a free and independent press, institutions that are rooted, they just might not reflect the timeless words, but
Do you see what he's doing? He's trying to imply that Donald Trump doesn't respect these things and he's going to abuse his power, because this is what Democrats want. Right before Trump's going to be inaugurated, they want somebody to try to take his life. They're just disgusting. But Democrats, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the Democratic Party are absolutely disgusting. Just evil. They can't get any more evil. He's just evil to his core. I can't wait till you're gone, Joe.
they echo the words of the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, rooted in the timeless words of the Constitution.
Here we go.
We, the people. Our system of separation of powers, checks and balances. It may not be perfect, but it's maintained our democracy for nearly 250 years, longer than any other nation in history that's ever tried such a bold experiment. In the past 4 years, our democracy has held strong. And every day I've kept my commitment to be president for all Americans through one of the toughest periods in our nation's history.
He's been the president for the last 4 years. This guy's been asleep at 11 o'clock a.m. for the last 4 years. For the last 6 months, he's been nowhere to be found. Anywhere. This is such a joke. It's such a effing joke. It's not even funny. This man has created nothing but chaos in the last 4 years of this country. An wide open border where people from known terrorists from all over the world are just walking on through. Mental institutions from every country in the world are just dropping their patients off here at the border. Every country in the world, their crime went down, and guess whose country's crime went through the roof? Sexual assault, murder, assault, aggravated assault. America's. Joe Biden is a terrorist. Joe Biden doesn't care about the Constitution. Joe Biden doesn't care about Americans or America. Joe Biden cares about himself and his disgusting family.
I've had a great partner in Vice President Kamala Harris.
So, yeah.
It's been the honor of my life to see
They hate
the
each other.
resilience of essential workers getting us through a once-in-a-century pandemic. The heroism of service members and first responders keeping us safe. The determination of advocates standing up for our rights and our freedoms instead of losing their jobs to an economic crisis that we inherited. Millions of Americans now have the dignity of work. Millions of entrepreneurs and companies creating new businesses and industries, hiring American workers, using American products. And together, we've launched a new era of American possibilities. One of the greatest modernizations of infrastructure in our entire history, from new roads, bridges, clean water, affordable high-speed internet for every American.
Wow, Joe.
We invented the semiconductor, smaller than the tip of my little finger, and now is bringing those chip factories and those jobs back to America where they belong, creating thousands of jobs. Finally, giving Medicare the power to negotiate lower prescription drug prices for millions of seniors. And finally, doing something to protect our children and our families by passing the most significant gun safety law in 30 years and bringing
Hey, Joe, the only threat to children is Democrats' LGBTQ plus agenda, where you think it's okay for teachers to teach your kindergartner who might have played with a doll that he should get gender reassignment surgery. You're a disgrace, Joe. Disgrace. Oh, we dropped medication prices $1. Meanwhile, gas is through the roof, inflation is through the roof, rent, housing, heat, electricity, steak is, $25. The cost of everything went through the roof, But according to Joe Biden, he did a good job. Everything's fine. It's your imagination.
Violent crime to a 50-year low. Meeting our
Okay,
sacred
Joe.
obligation to over 1 million veterans so far were exposed to toxic materials and to their families, providing medical care and education benefits and more for their families. You know, it will take time to feel the full impact of all we've done together. But the seeds are planted, and they'll grow and they'll bloom for decades to
I'm
come.
going to throw up.
At home, we've created nearly 17 million new jobs, more than any other single administration in a single term. More people have health care than ever before. And overseas, we've strengthened NATO. Ukraine is still free. And we've pulled ahead of our competition with China. And so much more. I'm so proud of how.
Hey, Joe, you going to talk about the money laundering scam with Ukraine, how all the money's being laundered back to you, your family, and the Democrats? Nah. The biggest money laundering scheme in the history of the world that Joe Biden's responsible for, that our children's children will be paying for.
How much we've accomplished together for the American people. And I wish the incoming administration success because I want America to succeed.
Oh, yeah, Joe.
That's why I've held my duty to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition of power, to ensure we lead by the power of our example. I have no doubt that America is in a position to continue to succeed. That's why my farewell address tonight, I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. And this is that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. The dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms,
Scumbag.
and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead.
He is such a piece of you-know-what. All he's trying to do is rile up some nut job to try to take another shot at Trump. He's such a piece of... If you support this man, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. He's a piece of you-know-what.
We see the consequences.
He should be arrested for trying to facilitate an attempted murder against a sitting president. That's what he should be arrested and charged with.
All across America. And we've seen it before. More than a century ago. But the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy. Just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else had to.
Oh, here we go.
Workers want rights to earn their fair share. You know, they were dealt into the deal. And it helped put us on a path to building the largest middle class, most prosperous century any nation in the world has ever seen. We've got to do that again. In the last 4 years, that is exactly what we've done. People should be able to make as much as they can, but play by the same rules, pay their fair share of taxes. So much is at stake.
Do you believe this piece of crap? Pay your taxes? Your son Hunter owes about $500,000 in taxes. You know what, Joe? When your low-life, drug addict, junkie son pays his, then we'll pay ours. Then Trump should pay his. And the same people that you donate money to, that Trump gives money to, they're the ones that write the laws to allow millionaires not to pay taxes. This whole thing that Joe Biden is for the working man and the middle class. Really? Is that why you flooded the job market with foreign labor? And we all know what foreign labor does to the job market for American citizens. It drives wages down. Is that why you didn't drill for gas and oil on our own soil? Because when you get gas from foreign countries, you know what happens to the prices of the thing in America? The prices go through the roof for everyday Americans. Joe Biden is a criminal, a corrupt fraud, and bottom line, a piece of garbage.
Right now, the existential threat of climate change has never been clearer. Just look across the country, from California to North Carolina. That's why I signed the most significant climate and clean energy law ever ever in the history of the world, and the rest of the world is trying to model it now. It's working, creating jobs and industries of the future. Now, we've proven we don't have to choose between protecting the environment and growing the economy. We're doing both.
Yeah, okay.
The powerful forces want to wield their unchecked influence to eliminate the steps we've taken to tackle the climate crisis, to serve their own interest for power and profit. We must not be bullied into sacrificing the future of our children and our grandchildren. We must keep pushing forward and push faster. There's no time to waste. It's also clear that American leadership in technology is an unparalleled source of innovation that can transform lives. We see the same dangers of the concentration of technology, power, and wealth. You know, his farewell address, President Eisenhower spoke of the dangers of the military-industrial complex. He warned us then about, and I quote, the potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power, end of quote. 6 decades later, I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech-industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well. Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation.
The only threat to this country, Joe, is you, the Biden crime family, and the insane, lunatic, liberal Democrats that support you.
Enabling the abuse of power. The free press is crumbling. Editors are disappearing. Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies told for power and for profit. We must hold the social platforms accountable.
Oh, here we go. Communists.
Protect our children,
Here comes the
our
commie.
families, and our very democracy.
The commie's
from the
mad.
abuse of
People are
power.
telling the truth about them.
Meanwhile, artificial intelligence is the most consequential technology of our time, perhaps of all time. Nothing offers more profound possibilities and risks for our economy and our security, our society, for humanity. Artificial intelligence even has the potential to help us answer my call to end cancer as we know it. But unless safeguards are in place, AI could spawn new threats to our rights, our way of life, to our privacy, how we work, and how we protect our nation. We must make sure AI is safe and trustworthy and good for all humankind. In the age of AI, it's more important than ever that the people must govern. And as the land of liberty, America, not China, must lead the world in the development of AI. You know, in the years ahead, it's going to be up
He mocks China as his son takes bribes from them and pockets millions of dollars.
to the president, the presidency, the Congress, the courts, the free press, and the American people to confront these powerful forces. We must reform the tax code, not by giving the biggest tax cuts to billionaires, but by making them begin to pay their fair share.
Here we go.
We need to get dark money. That's that hidden funding behind too many campaigns contributions. We need to get it out of our politics. We need to enact an 18-year term limit, time and term, for the strongest ethics reforms for our Supreme Court. We need to ban members of Congress from trading stock while they're in the Congress. We need to amend the Constitution to make clear that no president is immune from crimes that he or she commits while in office.
Do you believe this piece of garbage? What he's saying about Trump as he pardoned his low-life kid for 15. It's unheard of to get a pardon for 15 years. This low-life piece of garbage, piece of trash, pardoned his own son for 15 years, and now he's taking shots at Trump, who got a conditional discharge, where even every Democrat on the planet said the case against him was absolutely ridiculous and should have never been brought. I despise this piece of garbage.
The president's power is not limited.
Spit in his face.
It's not absolute, and it shouldn't be. And in a democracy, there's another danger to the concentration of power and wealth. It erodes a sense of unity and common purpose. It causes distrust and division. Participating in our democracy becomes exhausting and even disillusioning. And people don't feel like they have a fair shot. We have to stay engaged in the process. I know it's frustrating. A fair shot is what makes America America. Everyone's entitled to a fair shot, not a guarantee, but just a fair shot, an even playing field, going as far as your hard work and talent can take you. We can never lose that essential truth, remain who we are. I've always believed.
Hey, Joe, I got a question for you. What hard work has your son Hunter ever done besides make poopy paintings and sell them for millions of dollars so other countries can have access to you? Is that hard work, Joe? Your son literally made paintings with his own feces to sell to the highest bidder so they could have access to you. You know, America's enemies. Huh, Joe? Was that hard work?
And I've told other world leaders, America can be defined by one word: possibilities. Only in America do we believe anything is possible. Like a kid with a stutter from modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Claremont, Delaware, sitting behind this desk in the Oval Office as President of the United States. That's the magic of America. It's all around us. Upstairs in the residence of the White House, I've walked by a painting of the Statue of Liberty I don't know how many times. In the painting, there are several workers climbing on the outstretched arm of the statue that holds the torch. It reminds me every day I pass it of the story and soul of our nation and the power of the American people. There's a story of a veteran. This is a veteran, son of an immigrant, whose job was to climb that torch and polish the amber panes so rays of light could reach out as far as possible. He was known as the keeper of the flame. He once said of the Statue of Liberty, quote, speaks a silent universal language, one of hope that anyone who seeks and speaks freedom can understand. Yes, we sway back and forth to withstand the fury of the storm, to stand the test of time. A constant struggle, a short distance between peril and possibility. But what I believe is the America of our dreams is always closer than we think. It's up to us to make our dreams come true. Let me close by stating my gratitude to so many people, to the members of my administration, as well as public service and first responders across the country and around the world. Thank you for stepping up to serve. To our service members and your families, it's been the highest honor of my life to lead you as Commander-in-Chief. And of course, to Kamala and our incredible partner, the historic Vice President. She and Doug have become like family. And to me, family's everything. My deepest appreciation to our amazing First Lady who was with me in the Oval today. For our entire family. You're the love of my life and the lives of my love. My eternal thanks to you, the American people. After 50 years of public service, I give you my word. I still believe in the idea for which this nation stands. A nation where the strength of our institutions and the character of our people matter and must endure. Now it's your turn to stand guard. May you all be the keeper of the flame. May you keep the faith. I love America. You love it too. God bless you all. May God protect our troops. Thank you for this great honor.
It was 50 years of corruption for this piece of trash. 4 years of total chaos in America. Border invasion, highest inflation. The world is going up in flames. And he sits there arrogantly telling us what a great job he did because he thinks we're all stupid and can't figure it out. Also, this piece of trash, him and Kamala hate each other. Every time Kamala was going to do a speech or do a campaign, you couldn't find Joe Biden, but every time Kamala was going to do a campaign or give a speech, all of a sudden he would pop up and you know, have a have a on-air speech to do to take the attention away from her. The reason why he wants no insider trading for Congress or whatever to do with the stocks is because he's mad at Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi told Joe Biden, we could do this the easy way or the hard way. Either step down or we're going to do it the hard way. And what else did this piece of trash do right before he left? He decided to let terrorists out of Gitmo, known terrorists, hundreds of them, turn them loose when we have an open border. He also decided to commute hundreds and thousands of prisoners who've committed murder and sexual assault and killed children. He commuted their sentences, knowing one day that they'll have a possibility maybe to get out of prison. He's total trash. He is total garbage. Don't worry, Joe, you need to pray for yourself because I assure you when you're past, you're going to hell. You know how many people around the world and in America have lost their lives because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's inadequacy, and they just laugh and think it's a joke? Thank God for Donald Trump. I don't have to see Karine Jean-Pierre just stand up there day after day and tell us, you know, what ethnicity she is and who she's sleeping with, as every lie on the planet flows from her mouth. Just lie after lie after lie with no shame whatsoever. And then when all else fails, oh, you know, I'm a lesbian and I'm from wherever and that's why you don't like me, blah, 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 blah. I'm so happy that Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and this administration is gone and we don't ever have to see him again. And in typical Joe Biden, low-life, trash fashion, the beginning of his speech was to try to rile up some nut job to try to make an attempt on Trump's life again. Oh, the corruption of power. And you know the whole spiel that he does. He's a despicable human being. He's a vile, disgusting human being. Don't preach to us about integrity and morals, Joe. You're the leader of the Biden crime family. Your son, Hunter, is one of the most disgusting human beings on the planet. Your own daughter wrote in her journal that she felt sexualized by you and your friend, that you took showers with her till she was 21 years old. 21 years old. Whenever I hear a Democrat say, what a kind, good man you are, a good-hearted man, they're just vile like you. Or dumb, one or the other, and it's not good. Goodbye, Joe. Hopefully, you reap what you sow. And when you pass, Joe, trust me when I tell you, you're going to hell where you belong.